sports fans, welcome to Got Next Gaming and some more coverage from Madden 17. I had an inspiration this evening. It's a Saturday night. I just got home from work. I had a couple of beers and I said to myself, you know what? I want to do something completely off the charts here, completely different for what I usually do. Not to say this hasn't been done before, it has, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new franchise. But I'm going to do something completely different with this franchise mode. I'm not going to sit here and play the games and go crazy, all deep into it and everything else. No, what I'm going to do is something that kind of drives me crazy about football nowadays, and I'm going to do a competitive rebuild. That's right. They're calling it a competitive rebuild, where the team is, they're pretty good, but they're not good enough to win all the way to the Super Bowl. Or not expected to win all the way to the Super Bowl, but they're expected to compete while they're rebuilding their team. So I'm going to take the New York Giants because I feel like they need that kind of competitive rebuild. They just got a new coach, Ben McAdoo, who's got a ridiculous haircut and a ridiculous mustache. And I'm going to take the New York Giants and I'm going to competitively rebuild them. So we're going to jump into franchise mode here and we're going to get things rolling for you with this one. I am super excited about this. Like I said, it was just an inspiration. It kind of smacked me in the face and just hit me all at once. And I said to myself, hell, why not try it? I was watching the Jet Giant game and I said, heck, let's do this and see what we come away with here. So we're going to pick the Giants and we're going to go in and we're going to make some big decisions now. So, what is a competitive rebuild? What is that to you? How good is this team really? What are they going to bring to the table? They have an interesting schedule. So I think I'm going to call it 8 wins. And that puts them, like I said, at that competitive rebuild where they're going to be a 500 team. Maybe they do slightly better. Maybe they make enough to get into a playoff game, but they don't make enough to get all the way. The other part of what we have to talk about in a competitive rebuild is we're going to be doing a lot with the roster. Like I said, not so much gameplay, but more team building and roster management and building for the future. So taking a look at this roster here as we see it now, Eli Manning's our quarterback. Okay, he's an 85. Pretty good stats there. We have some wide receivers. Odell Beckham, we know he's a superstar. He is disgusting with a football. There's Victor Cruz, who came back, and he was a superstar, and he has a lot to prove coming back to see if he can kind of get back there. After that, not much depth behind him. Then we have Donnell, the tight end, and he is a bit of a question mark. Can be a solid player, but we need to see about him. There's this offensive line as well, which we've heard so much about. They're anchored in the middle at center, but they need some help around the edges and the outside. We're going to the defense, which I think is the biggest question mark on this team. They've got a solid line. The line looks pretty good with Jason Pierre-Paul and Oliver Vernon, but they definitely need some help with other aspects of this. They have no free safety. They have no strong safety. They have no linebackers. They have Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie at one corner, and they have Janoris Jenkins at the other corner. That's pretty good. They got Eli Apple, who's that rookie that they just drafted, looking pretty decent. But we definitely need some help in the linebacking core and in the secondary with the free safety and that strong safety. Definitely our weakest point of this defense here. We're going to have to make some moves. So in thinking about this, I was like, how do I attack this best? What moves can I possibly make? Do I go sign free agents to try to build the team right away? Do I go and wait for a draft? Do I trade some pieces away and try to take some trade bait and get something back for it better? What we're first going to do is we have Leon Hall, who's one of our depth cornerbacks. We're going to move him up in the free safety slot to be the starter because he's an 81 overall there, and that's a definite upgrade over what we have. Taking a look at our special teams, I think we're going to leave this alone for now. Nothing really much we need to worry about here. I don't want Odell Beckham really returning stuff, but we'll kind of address that later on as things move along. And we're going to get rid of Josh Brown at some point because, reasons. I like the aspect of this practice squad thing. Not really sure what to do with it or how to use it to my advantage at this point. It does talk about, having a player that you can have on your practice squad to slowly build and improve your team's depth, blah, blah, blah. Don't know how to really train these guys to actually improve them unless I have them on the team and they're actually doing practices with us. Not really sure how that works out. I'm going to have to think about it a little bit further. But we're going to go into free agency and we're going to take a look at improving some of our positions here. So we're looking at Louis Delmas. He is a free safety. He is 29 years old, a little bit older, and he does get injured often, but he is a huge upgrade over what we had at free safety, and I can move Leon Hall back to where he was. Also, we're going to take a look at our game plan here quickly before doing anything else, and we're going to get ready for that first game against the Cowboys. We're going to get our team game planned up and ready. I am going to tell you this, that we're going to have the first game. I'm going to show you some quick highlights, and I'm going to do the whole, play the moment thing myself, but we're not going to really do much of that going forward for it. But we take a look here after the practice, and we can see that our training recap, we're getting some of those extra points as we're definitely focusing on Sterling Shepard, Eli Apple, and Darian Thomas. Those are the players we need to work on the most, especially Darian Thomas, our free safety, who's a 69. But now we're going to go try to make a trade for a much needed linebacker. I'm thinking I'm going to start with the middle linebackers and work my way out. There's a lot of good ones out there. We're going to have to give up a lot to make this happen, but not as much as you'd think. I was kind of surprised by how this went along as I was making a look around, and I found Trevathan here, who is on the Bears, and he's a decent young player. Young enough for us here to kind of work. We have enough cap room to go get him. And I was going to try to trade him up 1-for-1 here with a second-round pick in the 2017 draft, and they weren't having it. They wanted a lot more for that. It was kind of a little bit of a lowball offer. So I tried to throw Eli Manning at him straight up. Eli Manning for Trevathan. Yes, that's right. Eli Manning. I want to get rid of him. I don't like him as a quarterback. And I honestly believe that to make this team better, we're going to have to kind of improve our quarterback situation. How do you improve upon Eli Manning? There's a lot out there. But you know what? Not even the Bears want Eli Manning, even with that Jay Cutler drama. How? But whatever. It is what it is. We're going to go ahead and throw him Eli Apple and the second-round draft pick, and they're going to like that trade, and they're going to accept it. Yes, we traded away our first-round draft pick, but for a much-needed linebacker, middle linebacker. Our defense suddenly looks a lot different with that man in the middle and our pieces at the corners and adding in that free safety for a little bit more strength there going into the secondary. Much needed there. So now we have to pick up a cornerback because we're short a cornerback after trading one away. We're going to just go pick up somebody off the scrap heap here, and it's going to be Jerron Housley, who is a 70 overall, but he has pretty good awareness and pretty good play recognition, and he's on the younger side as well, and he's not going to get injured so often. I kind of like that about him. It'll be mostly a depth pick is what I'm kind of looking at here to do this, decent speed and all that stuff as well. And then we have to definitely get rid of somebody too. So you know what? We just picked up a middle linebacker. Let's get rid of our worst middle linebacker that we have. He's a 70 overall. Kelvin Shepard, say goodbye. I'm sorry. You're no longer with the Giants. Here we are now. We're going to go into the game with the Cowboys. And again, like I said, not much gameplay here. We see our Eli Manning going against Tony Romo, 84 against an 85. But I am going to give you a couple of gratuitous plays. So definitely the first gratuitous play is going to be a pass to Odell Beckham Jr. That's right. OBJ gets the catch for 32 yards, and there's your Odell Beckham catch for you in this one, folks. And moving forward, the next play after that one, we're going to get an even better play out of our tight end, Donnell, who's going to take this one and break it for a touchdown to give the Giants a lead here, 21-14, as they are getting ready to go into the half. Larry Donnell, you know what? I think I can actually do something with this guy. I wasn't impressed looking at his stats and his numbers, but I think I can work with this and develop him into something that we can possibly use here. He impressed me on this play. And, of course, you get that little pylon cameo as well. So, at the end of the half, it's 21-14. Giants are up here. I am definitely surprised by this. But as the game comes to an end, yes, that's right. Dallas wins this one 31-28. And we see Eli Manning dejected walking off the field. And, his days here in a Giants uniform are probably numbered. I might decide to try to trade him away for something else because we can get a lot of value out of him right now and get the pieces that we need, possibly on defense or maybe even in the offense as well for the offensive line. We've got to think about that offensive line. The Giants have made no moves on that line whatsoever. And, not for nothing, these games are won in the trenches, and that's what it comes down to. We got the defensive line. Now we need the offensive line. Let's take a look at some numbers here quickly. I definitely wanted to put this one up on the board for you guys. Trevathan, 8 tackles, 1 assist, tackle for a loss, 9 total. Yeah, this guy's an impact player. And you know what? I think that was a great move, getting rid of a cornerback who was a first-rounder and not going to play right away for us for somebody who can make an impact right away. Like I said, this is a competitive rebuild. We need to get at least 8 wins this season to see what we can do. But that's going to do it for this week, folks. Week 1 is in the books. The Giants have lost. They're going against the Saints in Week 2. Come on back to see more action for this one. It's probably going to be like a three-parter here as we try to build them up. The next one, we're going to sim halfway through the season, see where we stand in that competitive rebuild, and then we're going to make plans for the future into going to next season and the season after that. But thanks again, guys, for stopping by, checking us out. Leave your comments below and a like for the video. I'll see you around the channel, and goodbye now.